What is happening, best ever community? This is Matt Faircloth, and I am your brand new host for the best ever CRE show. Best ever listeners, I've got a great guest today. I'm honored to call a personal friend. We've done a lot of work together. We've just shared a lot of time together at conferences and everything like that. Dave Bray is a Marine for 14 years. So I'll make sure to be nice to him. He didn't snap my neck like a toothpick because he could. And now he's a full-time real estate investor. And he's also the host of the Military to Millionaire podcast, among many other things. Everybody has Dave Bray, and he's got the second best beard in real estate investing. We all know who the first best beard is, and we're also friends with that guy too, and that's cool. Dave, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm in my Jason Kelsey era right now.
Yeah, so. You are. I think when I first met you, you did not have that fantastic beard. You've been working on it for a good bit. It seems that there are a lot of former military folks in real estate investing. And I wonder why that is. What do you think about either the military or whatever it is? Why is there that equation of military folks either flourishing in real estate investing or flocking to it as a next step venture once they graduate out of the military?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just service members are uniquely oriented to be successful in whatever they do after the military. Whether there's a ton of business owners, entrepreneurs that are vets that I think it has something to do with just the way that we weed people out between what allows someone to even be eligible for the military and then what you have to do to accomplish to make it through boot camp. And it sets a higher bar than society as far as, hey, if you made it in here, you've jumped all these hurdles, like it breeds that, I won't say alpha male, but that more dominant personality, male, female, however you want to call it. And so I think there's just a natural inkling to be adventurous and or entrepreneurship, right? The real estate side, I think, is in part, I don't know that it's that there are more real estate investors from the military. I think it's just that they do very well because they're decisive and disciplined. But also, I think there's an old stigma in the military, and it's actually one of the financial advices that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. And it's just a lot of people wander around and they're like, use your VA loan and buy a house at every duty station and you'll be rich. And if you bought in 2010, 12, 13, 14, 15, yes. If you bought in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe not. So I prefer to change it and be like, look, buy an investment property at every duty station with the VA loan, house hack or whatever. But I think just that natural, between the VA loan and people mentioning real estate, it's a natural way. If you've got 3 or 4 rental properties that you used to own, now you've seen what happens, why would you not pursue that after service?
Yeah. So let's touch on the VA loan quickly, because I've heard, and there's real estate brokerages that I know of that you and I know of too, that are focused on helping military personnel find housing to invest in through house hacks or whatever, using the VA loan. So for those are the best ever listeners that don't know, it's a great. We should be doing more for our active duty personnel in the U.S. and the VA loan is one of the things that we have done really well to say thank you or just give them a leg up, so to speak. Right? What is the VA loan? How does it function? You just touch on it real quick, and that's just the best ever listeners can be in tune with what we're talking about. Hey guys, hope you're loving this free education here on our YouTube channel, and if you guys love free stuff, I got more free stuff for you. Go to DeRosaGroup.com/tools, and you will see a bunch of free stuff that we've got out there. Everything from a superpower assessment to determine what your multifamily superpower is, all the way down to a free book on how to buy and find apartment buildings for you guys, even a free underwriting tool. It's all there. Go to DeRosaGroup.com/tools and grab some more free stuff. Grab that link down below and let's head back to some free education on our YouTube channel.
It is essentially it's a mortgage that is backed by the Department of Veteran Affairs. So they'll vouch for the 25% down that a service member normally would have to. And so if you imagine, most people are familiar with an FHA loan. So if you did an FHA loan and then instead of 3.5% down, you made the requirement 0%, you made the inspection less stringent, and then you took away mortgage insurance premiums and private mortgage insurance, MIP, PMI, that would essentially be the VA loan. It's basically the FHA on steroids. You can go to a higher debt-to-income ratio. There's no credit requirement. There's no limit to what you can purchase as far as you can go jumbo loan, 0 down, as long as your income and credit qualify. And I mean, it really is the single best primary residence mortgage in the country, if not the world. Unfortunately, it gets a bad rap, and that's really, I think that boils down to agents and lenders who don't understand how to use a VA loan would rather tell somebody it's not the best product than miss out on a commission by saying, I'm the wrong person to help you with this. And because it is untouchable. I could go on and on, but name me another primary residence mortgage where the appraiser can call you 2 days before he gives you the appraisal and say, hey, this might come in low, and you can provide new comps and fight it before the appraisal's done. And then if that doesn't work, it goes over the appraiser's head to the VA, and the VA can overturn his appraisal instead of getting his ego involved. There's like a 60, 70% overturn of appraisals with the VA, and it's like less than 10% on conventional mortgages. There's just a million things I could talk to, but it is.
Do they have a high foreclosure? So it sounds like you look at a lot of mortgages that are no money down, that kind of thing, and unfortunately, you tend to have, when you have a program like that, there are folks that are borderline unqualified that are able to get mortgages, and you might think that they have high foreclosures. They typically don't actually. That's actually a misunderstanding. And I'm not saying that's about VA loans. I don't know the answer to this question. I've seen that as a stamp for FHA loans and that kind of, those things have lots of foreclosure. They actually don't. FHA loans don't. But for VA loans, is there a high foreclosure rate or a default rate on them?
I don't have the recent statistics on me, but statistically, it is lower than the other primary
than FHA or standard conventional mortgages.
Yeah, and there's a couple reasons for that. One being you get access to better interest rates. So with, let's say, an FHA, the moment you go from a single family to a duplex, you can expect your rate to go up 0.5 to 0.75%. That doesn't happen with the VA. And then there's loan level adjustments, loan level pricing adjustments. So let's say you have an 800 credit score, great, you get the best rate. Once you get below 780, it drops. Once you get below 740, it drops again. So once you get below 680, it drops again. And then at 640, it drops. And so you might have 3 or 4 adjustments in there with normal mortgages, whereas and I think I misspoke. I think it's 740, 680, 640 for the 3 adjustments. The VA doesn't adjust for the first time till you get below 640, and so someone with a 645 credit score with the VA loan would have the same interest rate as somebody with an 800, whereas an FHA would probably be another 3/4 points higher.
Sure.
So you're gonna get better interest rates, which I think plays into it, but also the VA will work with vets to an extent to rework whatever they need to rework to keep it out of default. And also in the last 2 years, they had a moratorium on foreclosures for the VA loan. They basically flat out came out and said, nope, sorry, we're going to work with vets and you can't do this depending on.
Awesome.
So it's historically lower, but the interesting thing is when it does foreclose, they have what's called vendee financing, and so the VA will they have basically a program where anybody, vet or not, can then buy these properties off a site like an REO auction, but all VA loans. Cool. So you have access to those great loans when it does happen, but it's very rare.
Okay. Yeah, and I get, we're not here to talk about, Dave's actually very knowledgeable about this product. We're actually not a VA loan broker or anything like that. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about real estate investing, right? And those that are able to attain those VA loans, it sounds like the equation is that they should, like a vet or a active duty personnel member could go out there and buy a duplex, triplex, quadruplex, or even a single family home. My first investment was a single family home, and I had a couple of buddies live with me. I'm not a military personnel, although I do run around with Captain America out there. I'm not in the military, not former military. Just sure love me some Captain America. But you are real Captain America, and that there are the equation that you've coached people through is to buy a house hack equation using the VA loan, correct?
That's my favorite way for somebody to get started in real estate for sure. I don't think there's any single better first introduction to real estate and we could go way on and on, but you get all the benefits of real estate investing. And I think the big thing for me is the primary residence mortgage, sure, but it's not scary. If you're looking to buy your first house and you're like, I'm going to buy a 20-unit apartment complex or a rental in another state, and you go tell all your friends and family, they will all try to talk you out of it because they don't know what they're doing. They've heard tenants and toilets and bad guys or whatever. But if you're like, I'm buying a house to live in, everybody celebrates you and champions it. So even if it's a fourplex and you're living in it, it's way different to try to get into a investment process when everybody around you thinks it's a good idea than it is when everybody around you tells you it's a bad idea. So I think it really helps people get past analysis paralysis. Oh, it's crazy.
It's just, I know we're just two friends talking here, but it's so freaking nuts in the world that, if I go and tell, a family member, a best ever listener goes and tells a family, hey man, I'm gonna go buy myself a rental property. Oh my goodness, there's tenants, and the government's gonna cancel rent and this and that, and you're not gonna buy in a blue state, not a red state, whatever the hell, all kinds of BS advice they got, which is all unfounded advice and all that stuff. They're gonna go and give you really bad advice. But if you go and tell them, I'm gonna go buy a home for my family, they're going to say, oh, yes, that's great. It's so great for you, American dream, all this other stuff. Whereas, you might be limping into closing with
Yeah.
2 nickels to rub together, or you might not have enough money to really make the monthly payment or whatever. And you might be getting yourself into a bad financial situation in buying a home versus buying a rental property. And that, so it just goes to show you, don't take advice from people that don't know.
It makes me laugh because I don't know if you ever did self-management, but I didn't. And so I've been in real estate for 9 years and I've not once walked in a tenant's house with a tool in my hand. I've not done a toilet. I've gone to court twice in the entire 9 years, and only one involved a tenant. And that was like a really weird situation where I learned that if 15 different homeless people move into a house and every week a different one shows up and claims that they have a right there, then it takes 15 weeks to go through eviction. But if the owner shows up and says nobody's supposed to live in that house, then it's done. And so that was the one time I've shown up.
Yeah. Well, I've been through. That's where all my gray hairs come from, Dave, is in self-management. So I'm not handy. So I had other people with tools go in and fix the toilets and that kind of thing. But
there you go.
My wife Liz and I self-managed for many years. I've been through
Probably
all that.
Much better
all
returns because of it. So
School of Hard Knocks. Yes. Yeah. But it makes me that much more knowledgeable and wise, doesn't it?